Hello and welcome to my podcast, Ruminations with Ohiro Oni-Eseleh, and I am Dr. Ohiro Oni-Eseleh. I invite you to follow me by reading my blog. My blog articles can be found on Substack, and also follow this podcast, which is also on Substack. And feel free to share my work with anyone that you know. It is always my joy to come to you and have discussions about matters of life, which is what this podcast is about. It is the podcast where I discuss matters of life. And today, what I like to discuss is emotional depletion. We all know what it is to be physically tired, to be physically exhausted, but we also know what it feels like to be emotionally exhausted, and there is actually a term for it. It is exactly that, emotional exhaustion. And the way that I like to talk about that is actually just by presenting five signs, discussing five signs that will really let you know that you're emotionally depleted and need to do something about it. The first sign is one that I call persistent depletion. What is that? Do you know how you wake up in the morning and you're already tired? You wake up drained, and no amount of rest seems to be enough for you. It doesn't matter how you rest, it does not refill you. And the tasks that used to feel manageable now take an enormous amount of time and effort and energy and motivation for you to actually complete those tasks. So, what does it sound like? You say to yourself, well, I have nothing left to give. How often have you said that? And how often have you heard someone say that? I have nothing else to give. I have given it all. I don't know what else to do. And so, but the one quick thing that you can do about that is if you feel this way, you're persistently exhausted. If you feel this way, one quick thing that you can do is to step back, pause, and track your energy. Not your productivity, but track your energy. And for the next 3 days, note one activity that reliably drains you, one activity that you do and it drains you, and you just feel after you've done that activity or while you're doing it, even just before you do it, and you're thinking, I really just can't do this anymore. I am just exhausted, even if you feel physically strong at that moment. And so shorten that activity, identify that activity, and limit the amount of time that you spend on it to the moment during which you can concentrate. If it's an activity that normally takes you 5 minutes, or let's say 20 minutes to do, you shorten it and only do it for 5 minutes instead of 20 minutes. Do it for 10 minutes instead of 20 minutes. And just do the amount that your emotional energy allows you to do for that moment and stop. Another sign is when you have become increasingly irritable and you have low tolerance for things that you used to have high tolerance for, things that you used to be able to do without any complaints. Now you've become so irritable. So what is that? It is small annoyances, little things that trigger big reactions from you. When you're feeling this way, when you're feeling this way, and that's not accompanied, for example, with other signs of depression, for example, you know that you're emotionally exhausted. You're snapping at your colleagues, you're snapping at your friends, you're snapping at your family at home. And that's what it manifests as. When you are increasingly irritable because you're emotionally exhausted, it sounds exactly, it feels and manifests exactly as I've described. And it sounds like this. uh, someone says something to you that normally should not trigger any emotion, and suddenly you have an outburst over something very little. You become sarcastic, or you are withdrawing in response to minor stressors that really will be nothing. You're withdrawing. You don't want to deal with them. So here's one quick action that you can take. When you feel this surge that this is happening, you're about to get upset, or the upset has really begun, and you're about to blow up in anger, practice a 10 to 15-second grounding technique, which I'm going to recommend. Breathe, inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 2 seconds, and exhale for six. It's what we call the 4 to 6. You inhale for 4 seconds, hold it for 2 seconds, and then you exhale for 6 seconds. What that does is it lowers your reactivity and creates space. It creates space for you to actually think of where you are, what you're doing, and what you're about to do. And it prevents you from getting into that outburst that was just about there at that time. Sign number 3, when you have become quite cynical, cynicism or emotional numbness, those two combined are also signs of emotional exhaustion. So what does that manifest like? What is that? You feel detached from work. You feel detached from your relationship or your relationships. You've really lost interest, or you're losing interest really fast. Losing interest from in things that used to matter to you. You don't really want to do them anymore. Your empathy and enthusiasm, which you're really known for, have become sort of blunted. And it sounds like this. Oh, what's the point? I don't really care anymore. I don't care anymore. I don't want to do it anymore. If you actually sit back a little, you will find that you are actually exhausted. Not physically, but mentally, emotionally, you're exhausted. You don't want to deal anymore with things that you used to find pleasurable, or with people that you used to enjoy being with. So here is one quick action you can take. Reconnect with one thing that normally makes meaning for you. Like a short 5-minute reflection on why you started something. Why did I begin to play music, for example? Something that I used to enjoy. Why did I begin to do it? Take 5 minutes to reflect on that. Or do a small ritual that used to bring you joy. Identify why you used to do it so you can reconnect with it and begin to do it again, at least for that period. And sign number 4 is when you are feeling decreased performance and concentration. It's getting increasingly difficult for you to do things, to concentrate and do things that you would like to do, because you now have trouble focusing. You are forgetful. That's the way it manifests. You are forgetful. You have difficulty maintaining focus. And then there is a drop in the quality of of what you're producing. Also, sometimes the speed at which you perform your tasks normally has dropped. And so that's what it looks like. But this is how it sounds like. You're now missing little details, things that you didn't used to miss, you're beginning to miss. You're getting lost in routine tasks, you're not finishing them, or you're procrastinating more than usual. Of course, procrastination will not kill you, but if you were not someone known for procrastination. And now that's what you're doing, or you're doing it more than usual. And it's because of the way you're feeling. Emotional exhaustion is what it is, and you need to address it. And one quick action you can take here is to use what we call a 2-hour rule. That is, you schedule your most important single task in a 2-hour window when you usually feel the least tired. And you protect that block of time from interruptions. And you can do that by creating a strategy which will make sure, which, for example, will block out any distractions for you so that you can finish your task in that 2-hour window. And so the fifth and final sign that you're emotionally exhausted really shows up like through physical symptoms like sleep disruption. And here is what that is and how it manifests. You're having headaches, stomach issues, muscle tension, changes in your appetite or in your sleep patterns, you're restless and you're really not able to focus. So you begin to have chronic physical complaints that have no clear medical cause. You are emotionally exhausted. And here's a quick action. Remember, treat your body as a signal. So you try a 15-minute walk. Just take a walk. Admire nature. See the trees, see the leaves, see the grass growing around you. And for that time, and do this for 3 days. Take a walk for 15 minutes over a 3-day period. And this will most likely help you to regulate your sleep and reduce the tension that you feel. But if symptoms persist for this, make sure that you contact your doctor. So here are the practical steps that I am recommending today. Name what you are feeling. Feel free, and in fact, I encourage this. Tell one person that you trust. I am feeling emotionally exhausted. Name it. If you name it, then you can deal with it. Naming reduces shame and opens the opportunities to be supported. And number two, a practical step. Set one boundary. That is, say no to one request this week or delegate one task. I usually say to people, if you're having difficulty setting boundary, having difficulty saying no, practice with me, start with me. I have difficulty saying no myself, so I understand exactly what that's like to have difficulty saying no. But practice with someone that will not really take offense, so that when someone you trust, so that when you do say no to someone that you need to say no to, you won't really feel bad if they take offense because you can help them understand exactly why you're saying no. In other words, take care of yourself. And the third practical step is to practice what I call micro recoveries, which is you schedule 3 to 5 breaks across your day. Schedule a break after every few hours of doing what you're doing. That is, you step away from your task, hydrate, drink water, breathe. The key is to take care of yourself and avoid emotional exhaustion because emotional exhaustion can lead to other things. And people who work very hard can become emotionally exhausted. People who can say no can become emotionally exhausted. People who are perfectionists can become emotionally exhausted. Any of us can become emotionally exhausted. the so-called strong one who is the one who always is there, very dependable, who takes care of things, can become emotionally exhausted. We all can become emotionally exhausted if we are not careful. So those are the five signs of high emotional exhaustion. And I think the quick actions that I have suggested that you try, you can start immediately once you have seen this podcast. And if this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who might need it, someone who might enjoy it, someone who might benefit it, and um, and subscribe to the podcast. And I'll be looking forward to sharing some more information with you next time.